If you'd like to hit your tennis serve with more power, confidence, and authority, then you've clicked on exactly the right video. Today we're going to be looking at a real-life case study of one of my digital students to see a before and after example of a really core fundamental fix of a problem that many tennis players have with their service motion. So that sounds good. Click the like button. Let's dive right in. This is his before serve, before we started working on things. And I want you to notice a couple things. As he goes into his trophy pose, I want you to look at the twist he has between his stance and his hips. Check out his feet and this twist that he has going. Twisting in general is not a bad thing on your trophy pose, but he has a really extreme, excessive amount of torque or twisting going on with his lower body because of this big step he's taking with his right foot, making like a 2-foot step out past his front foot. And so that's creating a big twist between his lower body and his upper body. Some twist is good. This is pretty excessive. And what that leads to is as he starts unwinding towards the serve, his lower body, which is obviously connected to his upper body, starts opening very early, so that by the time he makes contact with the ball right here, check out where his chest is facing. It's kind of facing straight forwards towards the net. Look at where his hips are facing, straight forwards towards the net. And so this is a very open position. Basically, his body has completely unwound all the way forwards before he even makes contact with the ball. There's no more transition rotation to use through the point of contact. He's completely open. And this is a result of this whole kind of corkscrew motion happening, leading from or stemming from that big step with his right foot. And I see this all the time with players who try to use a hybrid stance like this, which is not wrong. In fact, let's go ahead and look at a professional example of this same kind of transition from a hybrid stance to a pinpoint stance. So hybrid simply means that a player starts in a platform stance like this, where the feet are wider apart, and instead of staying in that wide stance, the back foot comes up to meet the front foot. Lots of big servers do this, and it's not a bad thing or a wrong thing at all. Some players stay in a wide stance. Other players start in a narrow stance and stay in a narrow stance. Hybrid means you're kind of combining the two. So Murray here, you'll notice he has some twist and some rotation, a little bit of a stretch between his lower body and his upper body, but not nearly as much as our student example. So even though the upper body is basically in the same position, the lower body is much less stretched or stressed. So that means that when Andy turns up towards contact and meets the ball, look at where his chest and where his hips are facing. They're facing kind of towards the net post over on the right side of the court. He's serving on the ad side, just like our student example is. So that means as he makes contact, there's more rotation he has to be able to really transfer a lot of power using the big, strong parts of his body. His torso, his chest, his shoulders, his hips. They are all actively transferring and transitioning and rotating through contact as he hits the ball, as opposed to our student example, who had already reached the end of all of that rotation and turning, and there wasn't anything else to turn or rotate. So he was reaching the end of his rotation prematurely, leading his arm to have to do a lot more work than what it should have to. So let's check in just 1 week after I gave some feedback to the student and see what he changed. All right, here's the same player on the same side of the courts 1 week later, and I want you to watch the change that he made. The upper body of his trophy pose stays the same, but now his back foot is just sliding forwards to about even with his front foot by the time he goes up towards contact. And so now there's not nearly as much of an aggressive twist or stretch between his upper body and his lower body, much closer to the type of position that Andy Murray was in, which means there's more rotation saved to use as he goes up towards contact. So as he goes up towards the ball, it makes contact right about here. You'll see his chest is now facing much more towards the net post. His hips are still a little bit over-rotated, so he's still got some work to do here. But you can see there's a big step in the right direction. He's saving much more of his coil and rotation for actual contact of the ball. And it's a matter of refining this, continuing to work on it, continuing to tweak it. But his contact position is much stronger and much more stable now, much more influenced by the bigger, stronger parts of his body. And he's got much more room or space to continue rotating through contact now. So great improvement, great step in the right direction, especially considering that at this point he's only been working on it for about a week. Actually really impressive. So hopefully this inspires you to go out there with your own camera, aka your phone, and record yourself. And if you'd like step-by-step instructions on how you can make huge improvements like this one, just go to essentialtennisacademy.com, where every single week I do a live Q&A and I review video analysis just like I did for this student, and I'll just tell you exactly what to focus on. So for free access to check it out, go to essentialtennisacademy.com. Hopefully this lesson gave you something really productive that you can focus on with your own serve and helps you make big improvements and achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve with your game. So if that's the case, please click the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.